Elena wakes to pain. Her whole body burns like she's been set on fire. Even her breath feels like it could scald her skin. Her stomach is the worst of it, a raw, searing ache. She forces her aching body upright and scans her surroundings. One look nearly stops her heart. In front of her stands a massive thicket. Ordinary shrubs, the kind that grow low to the ground, now tower over 6 feet, green and lush in a way that makes her skin crawl. To her left lies a cat the size of a tiger. Yes, a cat. She knows it's a cat because of Biscuit, her own pet from before, the one who used to wind around her legs every single day. As a devoted cat servant, she knows the species cold. And more important, this thing has no tabby stripe forming the mark of a king on its forehead. A dagger juts from its neck. Her eyes follow the handle to a man slumped beside it, soaked in dark stains, alive or gone, she can't tell. The truth is, Elena is still dazed. She remembers being murdered. So how did she end up here? Her head throbs. A stream of memories that don't belong to her floods in. This world is the new era, more than 100 years after the end. The body's original owner was also named Elena. She lived with a father whose genes had collapsed, her mother gone since her birth. The first 10 years of the original Elena's life were decent, until her father was injured on a mission. After that, she had to leave the safe zone and join the scavenger corps out in the camps. The original's luck held, more or less. Each day she'd bring back a few edible leaves, just enough to keep father and daughter from starving. Today, the original had meant to scavenge her usual ground, but she'd heard someone found a chestnut tree with low contamination, a precious source of food, so she'd followed a group out instead. This sector was unmapped, the danger factor high, but chestnuts are starch-rich. What scavenger could resist? This time, the original's luck ran out. She found no chestnuts. Instead, the group ran into a mutant beast, a cat the size of a tiger, impossibly fast. Even at her top speed, the original couldn't outrun it. In the end, one swipe of its claw took her. Elena sorts the memories quickly and understands. She's crossed into the post-collapse wasteland of year 128 in the new era. The safe zone here is run by 3 great houses, House Ash, House Cain, and House Lock. What the other safe zones are like, the original never knew. Few people ever left this region. This is more than a century after the end. Through disaster after disaster, the world has been remade, top to bottom. The water is poisoned. Radiation runs high. Acid rain has ruined the soil. Nothing can be farmed. Plants grow wild and frantic, but the edible kind are rare. Most carry heavy radiation and can't be eaten. The clean kind is almost never seen. Word is, only the highest leadership ever tastes it. The low radiation kind is scarce too. Only the wealthy inside the safe zone can afford it. People in the camps forage the mid-radiation food, and not even every day. Everyone lives on the knife's edge of starvation. If someone goes a few days with nothing, they choke down a little high-radiation food out of desperation. But only a little. Eat more than a mouthful, and you've got days left to live. The animals mutated too, swelling dozens of times their original size. Even a single ant can be a deadly threat to a person. Night in the wilds is when the animals move most. So humans have been shoved to the bottom of the food chain. Elena takes in everything fast. She looks at the black sky. An hour or so and it will be full dark. When night falls, this place turns lethal. She has to leave now. She looks at the man. Alive or gone, she can't tell. Then at the dead mutant cat. Save him or not? No time to overthink. She crouches and checks. The man is still breathing. She yanks the dagger from the mutant cat and drives it into the beast's belly. According to the original's memories, some mutant beasts carry an energy stone inside. The shifting environment has formed certain stones in the high radiation zones. Per the scientists' research, energy cores come in 9 ranks: white, red, orange, yellow, green, indigo, blue, violet, and gold. White is the lowest. Gold is the highest. Once refined, these cores power firearms, vehicles, all of it. The barrier shielding the safe zone runs on cores too. It keeps the beasts out, She reaches in, swallows the urge to gag, and gropes around. At last, she finds 2 hardish stones. She pulls them out, wipes them on a leaf. One white, the smaller one orange. Her luck's almost too good. No time to check how much energy each holds. She bundles them up fast and tucks them into the pocket. She drags the man aside. No time to dig a hole. She gathers some dry branches, pulls a few leaves over the cat's body until it's hidden from sight, then hauls the man onto her back and runs. She passes a pool of dark stain and the scattered remains on the ground, and nearly flings the man off her back in fright. She forces down the fear and the nausea and gets clear of the place. The original's strength was considerable, equal to 2 grown men. From the original's memories, she knows that once a person turns 14, leadership injects them with a single low-grade gene serum to trigger the body's potential. Low-grade serum has one serious drawback. Once you choose it, whether it triggers anything or not, you can never use any other gene serum again. And if the genes collapse later, treating it at the root becomes far harder. You can also choose to skip it, or buy a higher-grade serum. High-grade serum has an 80% chance of triggering the body. But for people in the camps who can't even eat their fill, buying the high-grade kind is out of the question. After the original's father suffered gene collapse, life fell apart. At 14, with nothing left in the house to eat, the original had no other choice. She used the low-grade serum, thinking maybe it would trigger a skill. It didn't trigger fully, but it didn't fail completely either. At least afterwards she was stronger. Why call it a failure if she got stronger? Because anyone who truly awakens a strength-type skill becomes monstrously powerful, not merely the strength of 2 grown men like her. If this weren't a wasteland crawling with flesh-eaters, she'd have already been killed more times than she could count. The hour's late, so she meets no other scavengers on the road. Suddenly, a sharp crack splits the air, like something chewing, and she freezes. She waits in silence. Nothing happens. Slowly, she lifts a foot and creeps forward, stopping only when she can no longer hear the sound. A hard gust blows past, and a chill runs through her. She's broken out in a cold sweat. No more thinking. She follows the original's memories and runs. It's too terrifying. Not far off, in the tall weeds, a dog-like creature is feeding. Lucky it's eating. Otherwise, her life would have been forfeit. She reaches the door before full dark. Calling it a house is generous. It's a structure of stacked stone, fitted with a rotting wooden door, not even a lock. The yard's decent, but there's no fence, no sense of safety. The house sits at the far west end, an empty stretch of ground behind it, so no beasts can lurk back there. Inside, there's only her and her injured father, neither able to defend themselves. All they could do was build at the very back, where at least it's quiet. From a distance, she hears dry coughing. She pushes the door open, and before she can even step in, an anxious voice rises. "Elena, why are you back so late?" "Did something happen?" "Dad, I'm fine." She says no more, steps inside, shuts the door, and lays the man on the table. There's no other option. Apart from her bed and her father's, the table is the only thing that can hold a person. She looks around. The house is small. 2 low beds, thatch grass spread on them, no blankets in sight. A table and 2 stools in the middle. In one corner sits a large stone, no telling what's stashed behind it. Beside it stands a stove built from rock. Nothing else. The bareness of the room almost keeps it from feeling cramped. Dirt poor is the only way to describe this place. She turns to the man on the bed. Her father, Boone. Gene collapse has drained every ounce of strength from his body. Bedridden year-round, his face is pale, his frame gaunt. But his eyes are steady, no deadness, no glaze in them. He's clearly an optimist. She isn't sure how to face the original's father. She does her best to mimic the original's tone. "Dad, you're hungry, aren't you?" "It's too late to cook tonight. Drink a nutrient vial." She goes to the foot of her own bed and pulls out the last 2 nutrient vials. There's nothing in the house. 2 of them, one small and one broken down, stash anything of value and it gets stolen or seized. So they stopped keeping anything worth taking. She dug a hole under her own bed in secret food, and anything precious goes down there, the bedboard laid back over it. Safe enough, she holds out one of the 2 vials to her father. You drink it. I'm not hungry. Flat on my back all day. No movement. Where would the hunger come from? Choking back a cough, Boone waves off the vial in his daughter's hand. This body of his is no help to her now. He won't pile more burden on the girl. Dad, drink it. How are you not hungry? You ate a little this morning, that's all. Of course you're hungry. Don't worry, I can find food. She gives him no room to refuse and presses it into his hand. Boone starts to say something. Elena cuts him off. Your health's already bad. Starve on top of it and you'll fall ill. We don't have the credits for a doctor. She gives him no opening. She lifts the other vial and drinks. The stuff really isn't good, but not unbearable either. A faint fishy taste laced with the cool scent of grass. This is the worst grade of nutrient fluid and near expiry on top of that. One vial fills the belly for a day. The best grade holds off hunger for 3. Humans really are the cleverest. They even worked out how to make this. Back in the modern world, no telling how many people who hate cooking it could have blessed. She misses her modern days so much. Halfway through, she stops. She looks at the man on the table and grits her teeth. Fine. I already saved him. Can't let him starve to death now. She steps over, pries his mouth open, and pours it in. It pains her half to death. That was her ration. Boone drinks half his vial and quietly hides the rest away. It isn't that he's stingy with his daughter. He knows how stubborn she is. If she finds out he's saved half, she'll nag him for ages. Only now does he look at the man his daughter dumped on the table. Who is this? Why did you bring someone home? Elena doesn't hide it. She tells Boone what happened today, but leaves out the part about being killed by a single swipe. She says only that she was struck once, and that the man saved her in the end. It isn't really a lie. If this man hadn't killed the mutant beast at the last, the original would have been eaten down to nothing. No bones left for Elena to cross into. Elena, didn't I tell you? You can't go into the unmapped sectors. It's too dangerous out there. If something happened to you, how would I go on living? Hearing his daughter, Boone frets without end. Thank goodness she found someone to save her. Otherwise, there's no telling how it would have ended. She sees his eyes go red-rimmed, sees him cough without stop from worry, and a twinge of guilt sets in. Should have known. She shouldn't have told him. She steps over quickly, props him up, and pats his back gently. Dad, look, I'm still fine. It was dangerous, and I didn't find chestnuts, but I found something better. To keep Boone from getting more worked up, Elena pulls out the energy cores she got today. When he sees the cores in his daughter's hand, Boone's eyes go wide. He's too stirred to find words. Where did these come from? He stares at the 2 cores in disbelief. As a former mercenary, of course he recognizes them, but he never once got his hands on any. And there's an orange one here, no less. His daughter's luck is too good. Oh, these. After that man killed the mutant cat, I dug them out of its belly. She says it like it's the most obvious thing in the world. If not for these 2 cores and the mutant cat's carcass, who'd grit through the pain to haul him home? She barely has enough to eat herself and an injured father besides. She feels not the least bit guilty. Call it his fee. Boone stops fretting over where they came from and pulls his daughter close to look her over. And you? Where are you hurt? Is it bad? Why is your face all red and swollen? Her face and both hands are red and swollen, with the faint signs of blistering, and there's a tear in her clothes streaked with dark stains. Just my stomach. It's not serious. When I was attacked, I ran into a high radiation zone. Only the outer edge. Lucky. So I'm not badly hurt. High radiation truly is no joke. She hadn't even gone in, and she's hurt like this. She was too tense earlier to notice the wounds. Now that she's let go, the pain comes in waves. Dad, rest first. I'll go see to the wounds. We'll talk about the rest later. She lays Boone back down and goes to tend her injuries. Boone's lips move, but he says nothing more. He closes his eyes and lies still. She follows the memories to find water, going to the large stone in the corner. She shifts it aside. Behind it sit a wooden bucket, a pot, 4 bowls and chopsticks, 1 large wooden basin and 1 small. That's all. There's a patrol in the camps, but in a world where no one eats their fill, a human life is worth little. Theft and robbery happen all the time, and their house is a frequent target. She takes everything out. Half a bucket of water left. She got back too late today. No time to fetch more. Wasted again. Water here is rationed. One person, 1 bucket a day. She catches her reflection in the water. The red, swollen face has started to blister, but she can still faintly make out that it looks a lot like her own, just younger. The original is only 17, after all, and Elena is past 30. She boils the water, turns away, and pulls off her shirt. 3 claw marks stand out across her stomach. No telling whether she's caught something like rabies. She washes the wounds clean, goes out to the yard, and picks an herb to press on them. This herb is called white root. White, able to staunch blood and reduce swelling. It grows easily and can be used in high radiation conditions with no side effects, so every household plants a few stalks by the door. Conditions are limited. This is all she can do. The rest comes down to her body's own ability to heal. She looks at the slightly cloudy water and thinks it over. Might as well wipe the man down a little. Can't waste the water either. This man is badly hurt. Not a patch of unbroken skin on him. He looks like he came out of a high-intensity radiation zone. There's a claw mark on his arm too. Likely hurt fighting the mutant cat. 8 chances in 10. This is gene collapse. He still hasn't woken. No telling if he'll pull through. By the cut of his clothes, the fabric's good. Probably not from the camps, but people from the safe zone don't usually go out alone. She lets it go. None of her business. The cleaning done, there are no credits in the house, and a hospital is out of the question. She can only leave him to fate. Letting him lie on the table isn't a solution. She looks at Boone's bed and shakes her head. Too small. She looks at her own. Yes, that'll do. She spreads the dry grass from her bed onto the ground and lays the man on it. Boone hears the noise and opens his eyes and sees his daughter setting the man down on the floor. Elena, why not put him on my bed? I'll sleep on the ground. It's not cold now, but the temperature drops in the dead of night and he's hurt this badly. What if he spikes a fever? How could I? Your health is bad too. Saving him at all is more than enough. The bed is out of the question. The floor will have to do. In an age where no one eats or sleeps warm enough, who'd be kind enough to save a stranger? Not kicking him twice on the way out is generous. Seeing his daughter so firm, he says no more. She's hurt too. He can't have her trade places with this man. Dad, in 2 days I'll trade these 2 energy cores for credits. I'll buy you Restoration Serum. Then you won't have to ache so badly you can't sleep at night. When it comes to gene collapse, the hardest thing to bear is the pain that never lets up. Few can hold on through it. Buy nothing. Keep them. Save them for an emergency. A dose of Restoration Serum is no small sum. He's used to the pain anyway. Elena thinks it over. The lowest grade of Restoration Serum costs 1,000 credits, and it only eases the pain. The mid-grade runs 5,000. It can't fully restore him either. Only get him up and walking, no real strength to it. But the pain drops a great deal into a bearable range. High-grade restoration costs more, still, 12,000 credits, but it cures gene collapse at the root. A single year of recovery and he'd be like a normal person, able to hold his original condition too. Clearly, you get what you pay for. Even scavengers like them couldn't buy 1 dose of mid-grade in a lifetime of going without. No wonder Boone can't bring himself to spend it. All right, we'll talk about it then. She doesn't argue. She'll wait until she's traded for credits. If it's enough, she'll buy it outright. By the time he wants to object, it'll be too late. Good. Seeing his daughter let it go, Boone is at ease. If he knew she meant not only to ignore him, but to buy it on the sly, no telling if he'd still find her so obedient. Right, Dad. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to haul that mutant beast's carcass back. The meat's no good, but the bones and hide can still be sold. It has to come back, whatever else. She can gather some vines, too. Weave a few things. All right, you don't know how to tan hide, so strip the skin and sell it as is. Tanned hide fetches more, but he can't help, so she'll just sell it. Sure, when you're better, you can teach me. She knows a little, but time's short and materials are scarce. Better to sell it straight, then turn in early. You're up at dawn tomorrow. Not wanting to keep his daughter from rest, he closes his eyes. Seeing Boone settled, she sits on the bed and pulls the original's optic band from the pocket, along with the small dagger and optic band, the dagger from the man too. It looks like a watch, but it's really an optic band, holding her personal information, name, age, home address, and most important, her credits, which all have to be stored on it. Like an ID card, from the modern world. Hers is the cheapest kind, with only scan and locate functions. The standard kind can message and video call. Boone had one once. He sold it to pay for treatment. The most expensive, best kind can video call and pull up the world feed. And most important, it holds a laser inside, able to save a life in a crisis. She's never even seen one. She picks up the man's optic band and tries it. It looks far better than hers. No telling which kind it is. It won't open. No telling if it's broken. The dagger isn't bad either. A shame she can't take it. She has to leave him something after all. Ah, really? So poor. Only 53 credits inside, scraped together by the original, a little at a time. She takes out the energy cores and sets them on the optic band to measure. The white one reads an energy value of 632. The orange one reads 89. Low rank, but not bad. A whole mercenary company could go all day and not be sure of finding a few. She stows everything in the pocket and lies down. This bed is too hard. Nothing on it, so she can't sleep. She thinks back on the day. The truth is, she's still in a daze even now. But she has one strength. No matter how urgent things get, she shows no panic on the surface. It's why people often call her cold. Inside, she'd already been terrified. A lot of novels say the original doesn't truly leave her own body. She wants to test it. Maybe the girl's still here. She silently calls the name Elena, but there's no response at all. It seems the girl has gone completely. It's just as well. She's no bleeding heart saint, but she doesn't want to seize this body and leave the original a wandering ghost. She was only at home weaving when someone killed her. She doesn't even know who did it, or whether anyone's found her body. Her relationship with her family wasn't good. She moved out the moment she graduated. Without her, her parents probably won't grieve too hard. There's a younger brother to look after them. She doesn't need to worry over the two old folks, who, in the end, wanted her gone. She never wronged anyone in daily life. Could she have run into a burglar? That'd be a joke. There was nothing of value in her place, not even a bank card. At 20, she'd stumbled on a jade bracelet that was actually a pocket, but a useless scrap of one, only 2 cubic meters. Big things wouldn't fit at all. She'd thought the end of the world was coming and tried to stockpile, and that was all she got. Small as it was, she still stored some supplies. After 5 years of stockpiling, the end never came, so she slowly stopped keeping food, holding only some jewelry, ID, bank card, and a few other important things. She regrets it now. Should have kept some food in there. That's food. She may never eat it again in this life. Aya, pity the burglar. If he found nothing of value in the place, no telling how furious he'd be. In this era, gold and silver seemed scarce, and worked into jewelry scarcer still. And not very pretty either. Survival is hard enough. Who has the heart to make jewelry? The craft simply died out. Still, she can try trading the jewelry in the pocket for credits. Some of the upper class don't lack for food. Jewelry would sell better with them. Her consciousness slips into the pocket to see what's there. 3 silver chains and 2 bracelets. 2 pairs of snow mushroom earrings. 2 gold chains as well, plus a gold bracelet around 1 ounce and a pair of gold earrings too. And a set of white pearl jewelry. A giveaway from a jewelry store sale. It felt a bit much, so she never wore it. Just tossed it in the pocket. That pearl set alone is surely worth a good few credits. Animals are all mutated now, sea creatures fiercest of all. Who dares go into the rivers to dive for pearls anymore? Pearls must be rare goods now too. The rest is a few cards. Wait, an umbrella too. Today's snacks are here as well. Decent luck. A pack of crackers, 2 bags of chips. Goodness, a pack of pads as well. That's so good. These things have to be handled with care, traded for the greatest gain. She thinks it over a while, then drifts off into a hazy sleep. A shrill ringing cuts through. On and on. Ugh, so loud. She gropes half awake to shut off the alarm clock, but fumbles around forever and finds nothing. Then she startles upright. Right. She's crossed over. This isn't her home anymore. Aya. She rubs her pounding head. So early. Nowhere near enough sleep. Hell, How did she forget there's a patient here? Last night, she'd meant to sleep a bit and then go check on him in case he spiked a fever. She doesn't even know when she dropped off, and now it's straight through to dawn. She hurries up to check. Lucky. Still breathing, not gone. She touches his forehead. No fever either. This man's constitution isn't bad. Hurt this badly, lying on the floor all night and no fever. What is it? Is he all right? Boone sees his daughter rush over to the man. Surely he hasn't died. Dad, it's fine. I was just checking if he had a fever. Did I wake you? The noise of getting up was too loud and woke Boone. Fine is good. I woke early. The noise didn't bother me. This body aches too much. He can't really sleep at night. All right, rest a while longer. I'll cook. She knows he was surely kept awake by pain again. She has to get credits fast. She lifts the man onto her own bed to lie down. She's not sleeping for now anyway. Let him borrow it first. That done, she pulls the 2 leaves from under the bed. They look like the leaves of a thorned pagoda tree, oval, with fine saw teeth along the edge. Only they're too big, the size of both her hands, and thick too, like a cactus, full of moisture. She didn't expect that once plants mutate, the taste improves. Still a touch astringent, but the pagoda flower's fragrance is even deeper now. The pagoda flowers are edible too, very sweet. She has to make a trip sometime, pick some and brew it into water for Boone. She puts the other leaf away. A leaf this big, one should be enough. She chops it small and boils it into soup, a bowl each for her and Boone. Thin soup, not a trace of seasoning, truly not good. No other choice. It's all that's in the house. Apart from the one remaining leaf, there's no food left at all. So today there's another task. Find food for tomorrow. Dad, is there nothing in the house to hold water? Her water skin got dropped by accident yesterday while she ran. The leather one issued back when Boone was a mercenary. A pity to lose it. Most people in the camps use bamboo tubes. Few use water skins. It's just that their house has no bamboo tubes. The bamboo forest is too far, too dangerous, and her father wouldn't let her go. The others thought her too small and wouldn't take her along. She'd meant to slip off after them and run out of time. There's none left. Your water skin. There's only one water skin in the house, no spare. I dropped it running yesterday, but don't worry, I'll go look for it today. It's probably still there. She doesn't hide it, tells the truth. Losing it stings. She has to get it back. If you can't find it, let it go. Move quick on the road. Someone died yesterday, so someone's bound to report it. There may be a mercenary company coming to clean up today. Avoid them, or it's more trouble. If they see the mutant cat's carcass, she'll likely be robbed of it. All right? She knows what Boone is worried about. A bit of food, and the mercenary companies wouldn't spare at a glance. But a mutant beast, that's a different matter, especially one that might hold an energy core. She could lose her life over it. Dad, I'll be back a little early today. The nutrient vials are gone. Bear the hunger at midday, and I'll cook for you when I'm home. Looks like there's no avoiding the union exchange now, or both Boone and the man will go hungry. Don't worry about me, this man. What do you plan to do with him? He can't stay in the house forever. It isn't that Boone is heartless, he's bedridden himself. The whole weight of the household is on his daughter, and now a patient on top of it. It could work the girl to death. I'll decide when I'm back today. The mutant beast was his kill after all. After I trade for credits, I'll see. If it really comes to nothing, I'll put him out. Everything waits until she's back. She doesn't know what to do either. No need for that. If it truly won't work, take him to the disabled care ward. It's a life, after all. He doesn't want to keep the man, but not to the point of throwing him out. He'd even worried his daughter would go soft. Didn't expect her to be this fierce. All right, I understand. She only said it that way. She wouldn't actually put a man out. Seeing his daughter was only joking, Boone lets out a breath of relief. Good. Pack up and get going. It'll be light soon. She checks last night's wounds. Very good. No more bleeding. No infection either. The herb really isn't bad. Rest then. I'm off. She shoulders the basket and means to smear 2 streaks of ash on her face as usual, but thinks of how red and swollen it still is and skips it. She bundles up well and heads out. It's 5 o'clock now, not full light yet, only the gray of dawn. No trouble for walking, a few scavengers are already setting out. Yesterday's ground is to the east, about 7 or 8 miles off, little over an hour to reach. Move quick and she'll arrive just as the sky brightens. The farther on she goes, the fewer people on the road. By the time she's near, there's not a soul. All the better. No one to fight her for it. She arrives just as it turns light. Wrapped up tight, she opens the umbrella from the pocket and goes quickly to where she stashed the mutant beast's carcass. She pulls the branches off. To her surprise, it's still there. She'd feared the thick reek of dark stain would draw other mutant beasts. Likely this spot is the beast's own territory. Its scent hasn't faded yet, and that's what kept the other animals off. She has to leave fast. This is only the edge of the high-intensity radiation zone, but it's enough to make her sick. She looks at the mutant cat's carcass. Too big. The pocket can't hold it. The mercenary company may really come soon, so she needs a hidden spot. Just then she spots a small slope nearby, with a great old tree on it. Tuck a body behind the trunk and you'd never make it out without a careful look. It isn't far either, and conveniently well clear of the radiation zone. She hoists the carcass and walks, scanning as she goes for where the water skin fell, retracing yesterday's path, searching with care. She really finds it. She scoops it up and, without hesitation, moves on quickly. She reaches the place with the bodies. The dark red stain has dried and crusted on the muddy ground, remains strewn everywhere, no longer the horror of yesterday, but more desolate still. She sees the bamboo tubes beside them and thinks it over, then picks up 2. There are 2 people at home who need to drink. Because the house is so often robbed, she doesn't dare keep water in a bowl for Boone. Every day he can only go without. Compared to a little bad luck, surviving matters most. She walks on. She thinks that if no mercenary company or patrol comes today, she'll go and report it once, see if she can help these people gather the bodies. It's all she can do. In just a little while, she reaches the great old tree. She sets the carcass down and, without hesitation, takes out the dagger and strips the hide. The skinning goes smoothly. The original never did it, but Elena knows a little. With the hide off, she first checks whether the meat can be eaten. Beep beep, high radiation food, not recommended. Beep beep, high radiation food, not recommended. Beep beep, high radiation food, not recommended. One spot after another, none of the meat is edible. Looks like there's no meat to eat. Beep, beep, mid-radiation food, consume in moderation. What? Mid-radiation? She can't have heard wrong. She measures again. No mistake. Mid. Ah! She'd given up hope, and suddenly there's something she can eat. This happiness comes too out of the blue. It's a piece of belly meat. Maybe because it sees little sunlight, that's why it's edible. She cuts it out with care. About half a pound. This is meat. Her mouth's about to water. She finds a large leaf, wraps it, and tucks it into the pocket. She measures the other spots. Looks like her luck's run dry. Not one more piece is good. Next, she debones it, taking every usable bone. That done, she binds them with vine and stows them in the pocket too. Aya, it really is too small. Just that much. And there's no room left right. There are 2 pairs of fangs as well. They're wickedly sharp and hard, fine material for a weapon. She can make a simple dagger, at least sharper and easier to use than her own. Everything bundled. She digs a hole to bury the useless parts. She sees the organs cast to one side and thinks, might as well measure those too. Maybe something's edible. Beep beep, high radiation food, not recommended. Intestines, stomach, liver, all inedible, as expected. Beep beep, mid-radiation food, consume in moderation. Edible. What's this one? The heart, of all things. This cat mutated, and yet its heart is edible. Strange. Never mind. As long as it can be eaten, that's enough. She wraps it and tosses it into the pocket. By the time all of this is done, 2 hours have passed. 2 more, and the sun will climb high, the ultraviolet sharpening so she can't gather anymore. She has to find a shaded spot to wait. Still no one's come. Might as well look for chestnuts. She doesn't believe there isn't a single edible one. By the time the mercenary company finishes its cleanup, those chestnuts will likely be gone. There weren't many trees to start with. She finds the largest chestnut tree. A layer has already dropped to the ground, each nut the size of a bull's mouth, its outer shell harder and spinnier, the ripe ones split along a seam. Even peeled of the outer shell, they're the size of a fist. No time to crack them. She wraps them with care, filling about 3 sacks in a basket before she stops. The basket and 3 sacks are what the original left behind. She sets a sack on the basket, carries one in each hand, and runs back to the small slope from before, dumps them, and goes again. 3 round trips, and she's moved a little over half the chestnuts back to the great old tree. By the time the sun turns harsh, she's right beneath it, checking them over. First, she looks for anything to eat. She has to solve today's hunger at least. Tall shrubs everywhere, and some plants she doesn't know. She pulls one up, cuts off a slice with her knife, and sets it in the scan zone. Beep beep, high radiation food, not recommended. She fusses about for ages with nothing edible. She's about to try a different spot when she hears a low rumbling, likely the mercenary company. Before she can hide, a truck rolls into view, a flame-shaped banner planted on it. Wildfire Company has arrived. They've taken orders from above to clear this place. They didn't expect a young girl out here, too. Bold, this one. Girl, are you out here alone? It's dangerous here. Someone died yesterday. Get on home, quick. One of the drivers speaks, afraid she doesn't know this is an unmapped sector. She's new here. He means to send her home. Yes, I only just got here. What's happened here? Elena didn't expect them to stop and warn her. She steals a quick measure of them, 7 or 8 people on the truck in all. She feigns fear and lowers her head. Even if they show no malice, she doesn't dare drop her guard. In this flesh-eating world, she guards against everyone. She trusts no one. You're not heading deeper in? Word is, there's a mutant cat out this way. Vicious thing. You'd be smarter scavenging somewhere else. The girl looks pitiful, both hands empty. One glance and Tanner can tell she's found nothing. Otherwise, he wouldn't have bothered with the warning at all. Thanks. I'm just checking over there for any chestnuts worth eating. 2 good ones, and I'm gone, Elena says. She doesn't refuse outright. She can't bring herself to walk away from this many chestnuts. Suit yourself. He said his piece. Whether she listens is on her. He hits the gas and the vehicle tears away. It leaves Elena standing there, blank. She brushes the dust off her clothes. He couldn't even say a word before flooring it. No manners at all. Tanner, why run your mouth like that? A young man riding beside him speaks up. She's about my daughter's age. Face all burned up from the rad sun I felt for her, that's all. Seeing a girl the same age as his own daughter, something in him went soft. Keep your eyes on the road. We've lost enough time already. Tanner, anyone still breathing out here didn't get gentle. Don't let your guard slip. Wade is about to add something when a voice behind him cuts in, cold, edged with a threat of impatience. Got it, boss. I'll watch it next time. Tanner knows he's been talking too much. He lets it drop. Drive. The sooner we finish the sweep, the sooner we're home. No one says anything else. The vehicle sinks back into silence. Elena knows nothing about that little exchange. She's crouched beneath that chestnut tree, checking the nuts one by one. Beep beep. High radiation food. Not recommended. Beep beep. High radiation food. Not recommended. Several in a row. All high rad. The little spark of excitement gutters out. She keeps going. She doesn't lose heart. Beep beep. Mid-radiation food. Consume in moderation. Down to the last half pouch, she finally gets one she can eat. The heavens don't fail the patient. A scalding sting lances across her skin. Somehow the sun has turned vicious. She checks the time. Past 10 already. She looks at the ground again. Not many fallen chestnuts left. Only 2 she can actually eat. She slings the basket on and bolts for the little slope. She doesn't know what kind of tree this is. The leaves grow so thick not a sliver of sun gets through. A fine place to hide from the glare. She takes a swallow of water. No rest. She gets back to work. First, she has to crack the tough outer husk, slice through the silky inner skin, scrape off a little, and lay it in the optic band scan field. Checking one takes time, so she works through them, no faster, no slower. Beep, Beep. Low radiation food. Recommended. What? Low rad? Another low rad one? She runs it again. It's real. The optic band glows green. Her luck is holding. God. All this fumbling around? It's worth it. So worth it. Elena badly wants to laugh out loud 3 times over. Stay humble. She has to stay humble. For all she knows, the mercenary crew is right nearby. This isn't dull, mindless work. This is a windfall. Whatever exhaustion she felt melts clean away. Come on, kid. A bright future is waiting. She rolls up her sleeves and keeps at it. This round runs another 2 hours. Only when her stomach growls does she notice it's already noon. 6 more good chestnuts. The sense of accomplishment runs over. A little regret. No more low rad ones turned up. But this is enough. 1 bite won't make you fat. The days ahead are long. She looks at the half still left, rests a moment, then continues. By the time the sun stops biting, she'll be done. Elena draws out a small knife and carefully pares away the chestnut's outer husk. With a soft crack, the shell splits, bearing the plump, round kernel inside. She can't wait any longer. She cuts off a small piece and pops it in her mouth. A rich, dense aroma rushes up her nose. Crisp and sweet. Exquisite. After 1 nut and a little more water, her stomach is finally 7/10 full. She looks at the 7 that remain, plus the 1 low-radiation chestnut. She can't leave herself this exposed. She has no intention of becoming someone's mark. She checks the pocket. A little space left. She glances around, pulls over some vines, and her fingers weave fast. A small basket takes shape. She drops every chestnut inside, then wraps the low-rad one in leaves before tucking it in. She thinks for a beat, then takes 2 nuts back out of the pocket and sets them in the basket. Only then does she stow the basket away. The fit is exact. Not a sliver of room to spare. Fed and watered, she still doesn't rest. She keeps working until nearly 3 in the afternoon, when the last of the chestnuts is checked. 7 good ones left over. Not a bad haul. Once everything's packed, she leaves 3 in the open bamboo basket as cover. She stands and works out the stiffness. Sit that long and your backside aches too. No telling whether it's the mercenary crew clearing the area. Not a single mutant beast has shown its face. People really shouldn't be named out loud. The thought has barely passed when a rustle of footsteps reaches her. She turns. 8 big men, heading her way. Since the other side hasn't spoken, she keeps quiet too. The man in front is tall, maybe 6'1". His skin runs dark, the years carved hard lines into it. Rough at a glance, but it lends him a seasoned, settled weight. When he narrows his eyes and sizes up the surroundings, a kind of cold, clever air comes off him, as if he can see straight through everything. In this man, the roughness and the cold cunning form a strange, distinct contradiction. An odd pairing. You see any mutant beasts around here? The voice comes clear, with a cold undertone. No, I've been right here gathering chestnuts. Afraid he won't believe her, she even points at the pile of shells on the ground. He glances at the shells, then at the 3 chestnuts in her basket. Seeing him fix on her basket, she half wants to clutch it to her chest. She's afraid he'll just take it outright. This man is Vance, captain of Wildfire Company. Reading Elena's expression, he curls his lip. A few bruised melons and split apples, and he can't even be bothered. Half a day out here, and only 3 to show for it. What kind of luck is that? Elena acts like she doesn't catch the jab on his face. As long as he doesn't take her food, his attitude can be whatever it wants. Somebody said there's a mutant cat out here. We've searched a long while and turned up nothing. You'd best head back soon, run into it, and you'll be the one getting eaten. He watches the girl without blinking, missing none of the small shifts in her face. They've searched a long time and found nothing. Out here, she's the only one around. Hard not to read into that. Elena doesn't flinch. As long as she keeps her expression locked down, no one stands a chance of reading a thing off this face. Lucky she buried what she didn't need. No evidence, and they can't do anything to her. Once again, she silently commends her own quick wits. All right, I'm leaving now. She doesn't dare get too greedy. A shame, all those chestnuts, and none of them are hers. Watching her go, Wade says, "Captain, keep searching? Keep searching. It's still early. A while longer. If we genuinely turn up nothing, we head back and come again tomorrow. Bring the company's families to gather chestnuts." Whatever the case, he wants a little more time. And if we cross paths with that girl again, pay closer attention. He hopes he's reading too much into it. Yes, Captain. He knows his captain wouldn't say it for no reason. No need to ask more. Carry it out. This time we split in two. You and old Tanner take a team that way. Anything comes up, signal? Understood. With that, he and Tanner head off in the other direction. Elena still doesn't know she's caught someone's eye. She's striding ahead at a quick pace. It's early yet. She figures she'll go find some rattan and weave a few things. The pocket is too small. She needs a 6-foot rack built, something that can hold more. She doubles back about half an hour, turns onto a different path, and not long down it runs into other scavengers. They watch her warily. Seeing she has no intention of stopping to fight for turf, they go back to hunting for food. She finds a spot. Few people, damp ground, a pool of water not far off. The thinner water vine grows here. Water vine has long, slender stems, supple and tough, easy to bend. What you weave from it comes out soft. The best material for door curtains and sleeping mats. By the water, there's also reed grass and kogan grass. She takes a little of each, plus some of the heavier vine too. Once she's done cutting, she lays the kogan grass and reed in the middle, wraps the water vine around them, and finally binds the whole thing with the thick vine. She looks at the bundle, bigger than she is, and she's pleased. Some time left. She walks down to the riverbank to take a look. The river is dangerous. She can only move within 10 feet of the bank. Some wild water celery and fish mint grow along the edge. Whether these people don't recognize it or it's just too dangerous to reach, it's grown well. She cuts a little with her knife and lays it on the optic band to scan. Beep beep. High radiation food. Not recommended. Figures. Food never comes easy. This optic band is too much of a nuisance. Too slow. From the original's memories, she knows there's a scan blade that's far more convenient. Only it's pricey. She has to buy one when she gets back. It won't save credits, but it'll save effort. Beep beep. Mid-radiation food. Consume in moderation. Ah, something to eat. She breaks it into segments. The leaves can't go to waste either. Straight into the basket. She glances around. No one's paying attention. She turns the volume low and keeps scanning. Beep beep. Mid-radiation food. Consume in moderation. Another one. Not bad. Beep beep. High radiation food. Not recommended. Half an hour passes, and nothing else edible turns up. It's 5 in the afternoon. She has to hurry home. She still wants to make a trip to the exchange. She finds 2 trees, thick as a cup's mouth, and cuts them down. This burns through the dagger, too. Lucky the man's dagger pulls its weight, or she'd be grinding the blade forever. Looks like the shopping list gets one more item. She lashes the 2 logs together with vine, cuts a handful of kogan grass, and stuffs it in the basket as cover. She shoulders the bundled vine, basket in one hand, dragging the 2 logs with the other. Manageable. Not too heavy. A racket like that turns the scavengers' heads, one after another. Every day on the way home, they too drag a little vine or cut some wood for firewood. But none of them go as hard as this girl. Only when she's out of sight do they pull their eyes back. No one comments. It isn't food. They don't have the spare energy to gossip. The road already has scavengers heading home, most of them traveling in pairs. Rarely does anyone walk alone. Among them, men and women, old and young, all stoop-backed, eyes gone dull, worn out. Not a flicker of hope toward life. A few have a hint of a smile at the corners of their eyes, faint, hands gripping their sacks tight. Looks like the day's haul wasn't bad. Some cruel ones have been tracking those bulging sacks. But Elena they size up with a single glance, then ignore. She, by contrast, moves light, walking ahead bold as you please. From far off comes another rumble. Before she can dodge, Elena is coated head to toe in grit again. She opens her eyes to see what wretched thing it is. Only a sky full of dust and a streak of fiery red. That'd be Wildfire Company. So you've got a vehicle? Big deal. That many people, and they still don't slow down. Racing off to be reborn, no doubt. Back home, she doesn't dare leave the vine at the door, afraid of theft. She hauls all of it into the room and stows it well. Dad, I'm back. Home early today? Usually it's 7 before she's back. Yeah, I'm thinking of making a trip to the Union Exchange. Buy a few things. The weather here isn't like the modern world. There don't seem to be 4 seasons. Just a scorching summer and a freezing winter. In summer, the daylight runs long. By 6, the sky's already bright, and it isn't full dark until past 8 at night. It's not yet 6 now. No wonder Dad thinks it's early. Did you bring everything back? Just go sell to Mama Lacey. Why bother with the exchange? The exchange is crowded, all kinds of eyes. Easy to get tracked there, and no shortage of enhanced and gifted ones either. His daughter's only a bit stronger than most. She's truly no match for them. I'll sell to Mama Lacey first, then just look around the exchange. I won't go buying things at random. She knows Dad fears she'll run into danger. Oh, right, Dad. I found mid-rad meat today. Let's eat a little tonight. She takes the carefully wrapped meat from the basket, really from the pocket, and pulls out 3 chestnuts while she's at it. There's even meat? That's a rare thing. Boone is glad too, but we can't eat it. Trade all of it for credits. He's hungry for meat too. He just can't. Why? I wanted to build you up. Boone has lain in bed for years. Apart from what his body demands, he barely leaves it. He's frail. A gust of wind could knock him flat. It's hard enough to come by a little meat. How could she sell it? Or is it that mutant cat meat can't be eaten? Right. In the modern world, cat meat was never common. She'd heard it goes sour. There's nothing that can't be eaten. Have you forgotten our house has no odor scrubber? Cook this, and the smell of meat carries out. The camps would tear us apart. These days, anything edible is worth keeping. But let people learn they've got meat at home and forget about a quiet life. Ah, right. You're right. This meat absolutely cannot be eaten. Elena gives a start. How did she forget this is the wasteland? Still running on modern world thinking. Looks like she isn't guarded enough. She's accepted the fact of transmigrating, but she's never once thought about truly blending into this world. Hold on to thinking like that, and sooner or later she'll pay dearly for it. A shiver runs through her. No, she has to take a careful look at herself. Elena, what's wrong? Boone meant to lecture a little more, but he calls and gets no answer. He lifts his head to look and finds his daughter staring blankly, her eyes full of fear. Was he too harsh? Scared her? Should have put it gentler. Dad, what is it? Elena is still lost in thought. Boone's voice pulls her back. What I just told you? You've got it? Seeing his daughter return to normal, Boone breathes easier. I've got it. I just forgot for a second. Dad, let me go get today's water first. Not wanting another lecture, she grabs the wooden bucket and bolts. Even forgets to mention the chestnuts. Watching her run off, he looks at the meat in his hand again. What's the rush, this child? Doesn't even know to put things away properly. Lucky the water point isn't far. He works his body up slowly, sits up. He still has to keep watch. The road isn't crowded, no sound of people talking, just hurried steps. The water point really isn't far, about 5 minutes on foot. Still early, so there isn't much of a line. Right now, the water supply is contaminated. Usable water is scarce. The leadership up top hasn't entirely abandoned the camps. They filter water on a schedule. They just post guards, and each person gets 1 rationed bucket a day. She goes to the registration window, signs, takes 2 water tokens, and gets in line. Barely a moment in line, and someone stops beside her. Tam Niem, you came for water too? The newcomer is a young man, early 20s, tall and lean, his voice low, a touch shy at first glance. Digging through the original's memory, she learns his name is Hart. He lives 3 doors up from her. His father runs errands for a small mercenary crew, so things at home are a little better off than most. Often seeing Elena on her own, he'd lend a hand with small chores. Enough back and forth and they grew familiar. The original wasn't bad-looking either. Her features close to Elena's modern face, only finer, more delicate. A round face, 2 sweet dimples when she smiled. Most striking was the fair, pale skin, the kind that won't tan. In a world where dark and sallow skin is the norm, it stood out. Lucky the original wrapped up tight whenever she went out, even smeared dark ash on her face. Otherwise, she'd have drawn no end of leering eyes. And this heart had once come to the house to fetch her for scavenging, had seen her with her face washed clean. On the original's 17th birthday, he'd voiced his wish to start a family with her. The original was moved then. She thought that if the two of them worked at it together, the hope of buying a low-grade restoration serum for her father would be a little greater. She'd meant to think it over seriously. Then she met Hart's parents first. Every word, said and unsaid, came down to one thing. After the marriage, they hoped to put Boone in the infirmary ward. Forget that Elena doesn't even like Hart. Even if she did, there'd be no chance of being with him. Oh, it's you. You came for water too? Elena doesn't dodge him. You're out early today. Not going scavenging? Usually she comes for water late, and he hasn't seen her these past few days. Got back early today. She doesn't explain much. I found some food yesterday. If you're short at home, I'll bring you a little. He doesn't press. He just says it quietly to her. No need. I found some food myself today, enough for 2 days. Go get in line for water. It'll be packed soon. Hart had more to say, but seeing the crowd genuinely swell, he figures talking later is much the same. Then wait for me. I'll walk you home after. Sure. Fine. Elena nods to be polite. Strange. Elena seems off today, not herself. No smile for him, her expression flat. He scratches his head, lets it go, and joins the water line. Still not knowing she's under suspicion, Elena is in high spirits, just here to get her water. It's her turn in moments. Once she has the water, she walks off in a straight line, no looking back. The man's not bad, but he isn't her type. She has no wish to get tangled up with him. By the time Hart has his water, there's no trace of Elena left. Carrying the 2 buckets home, she finds Dad sitting on the edge of the bed, his face paler than before. She drops the buckets fast and rushes to help Boone lie down. Dad, why'd you get up? This child. You set things down and you're gone. Not even afraid someone will snatch them. He doesn't forget to shoot her a glare. Ah, I forgot. She smacks herself hard on the head. How does she forget something this big? The food just dumped on the ground. The meat still in Dad's hand. Lucky nothing happened. The thought makes her cold. Nothing happened, didn't it? Still, no doing that again. Here, take this back. He fishes the wrapped meat out from inside his shirt. This child, why use so much force? Her forehead's gone red. A light tap would have done. She takes the meat he holds out. I know. This time it was careless of me. This time she truly knows she was wrong. Once the water's stored, she ladles some into a pot and boils it, pours a bowl for Dad, and spoons the other into the man lying on the bed. She takes out the bamboo tube she'd gathered, rinses them clean with the boiled water, pours the leftover warm water into them, and hands one to Boone. Dad, this is a bamboo tube I found. There's cooled boiled water inside. Don't go without drinking it just to save it. The other she keeps for now. Dad, I'm going to take today's goods to trade. I'll cook when I get back. All right, quick there, quick back. Don't go to the exchange. He still fears she won't listen. Yes, I know. She shoulders the basket and heads out. Out on the road, it's clearly livelier. The houses in the camps are thrown up in a chaotic sprawl, mostly makeshift. The low huts crowd in tight against one another, roof lines uneven and jagged, some with cracked old tile, some patched together from sheets of scrap metal that rattle harshly when the wind passes. A few are stone houses like hers. Now and then a snatch of conversation drifts over, lending a little life to a street that's otherwise desolate. The Union Exchange sits in the safe zone, a full 2 miles from their place, half an hour on foot. Mama Lacey's shop is nearer the safe zone's gate. Few people live around here, and the houses are clearly better, at least laid out in order, fairly uniform, mostly unmarked storefronts. plenty of people like her hauling sacks large and small in and out of the shops. Looks like they're all here to sell. She reaches Mama Lacey's shop. No sign over the door either, and it looks older than the other storefronts. She steps inside. A little dark within. After her eyes adjust, she makes out, in the corner, an old woman on a reclining chair. Asleep, it seems. She hesitates over whether to wake her, then the woman's eyes snap open. "Little Elena, you're here." She rises. "Mama Lacey." She greets her sweetly. Mama Lacey is short, her face full of wrinkles, but her smile is kind. She and Dad are old acquaintances, and she's always been good to Elena. "Yes, Mama Lacey, I'm here to sell." She takes the goods from the basket, really pulling them quietly from the pocket, the basket topped with kogan grass so no one can see. First a hide, then bones. "Mama Lacey, do you take meat?" Elena asks softly. "What? You've got meat too?" "Child, why didn't you say so sooner?" She hurries to shut the door. From now on, lead with the rare stuff. She'd assumed it was a few cabbage leaves like before. Even hide and bone don't draw the way meat does. True, her son's in a mercenary crew too, but meat isn't a regular thing, once or twice a month at most. Mutant beasts are huge now, brutally hard to take down, and the meat is mostly high rad. Low rad is hard to find. As for no rad, she's never even seen it. "Heh, didn't I take it out already?" "Caught a mutant cat by chance today, finished gathering it up and came to trade for a few credits." She only asked first, didn't dare just produce it. Afraid of being seen from outside. "You ran into a mutant beast? You heard it all?" There's a hide this big. Note, original text garbled one word here, rendered per intended meaning. "I'm fine." Elena doesn't say much more. "Good, that's good. Let me look these over first." "This hide counts as large, fairly intact, just untanned. I'll take it off you for 100 credits. A pair of fangs counts for 100 too. 2 claws, 120 credits. 2 arm bones, 120. 2 thigh bones, 120. And 1 spine, 150. 610 credits, all told. From somewhere, Mama Lacey produces an abacus and clacks away without pause. "Where's the meat? Let's see it." Seeing none on the table, she prompts. "Yes, right away." She draws the leaf-wrapped meat from the basket. Mama Lacey's eye twitches as she watches. What household tosses meat into a basket like that? Everyone else hides it deep on their person, terrified of being robbed. Seeing Mama Lacey's look of disapproval, Elena still doesn't know she's being judged. Taking the meat, Mama Lacey produces a scan blade. "Beep beep. Mid-radiation food. Consume in moderation." This is mid-rad. 100 credits an ounce then. Something rarer or low-rad would run dearer still. She sets it on the scale. Just shy of 1.5 pounds. Call it 1.5 pounds. 1,400 credits. 2,010 credits in total. Little Elena, check it's right. That's right, Mama Lacey. They're old acquaintances. She knows Mama Lacey likes to fleece people, but the prices she gives her are fair enough. Good. Here, let me transfer it. She produces an optic band and aims it at Elena's. Scanning once. Looks like the tech really is still well developed. Checking the credits on her optic band, 2,163. Looks like a fine number, but it's a long way from the price of a Restoration Serum. No. She has to buy the serum. She needs to gather enough credits. The thought brings her back to selling those 2 energy cores. Going alone isn't safe. She'd be tracked. The odds of an enhanced body type triggering a skill aren't high, but at the exchange, there are surely no few of them. However great her strength, there's no way she could fight that many. Mama Lacey, is Mr. Briggs out on a job today? Mama Lacey's son is in Hope Company. No gift triggered, but his eyes are enhanced. Word is, he can see objects within 50 meters. He joined Hope, ranked 3rd among the mercenary crews. No, they're still training. Something you need? It's like this. I want to buy a low-grade restoration serum, but I'm short on credits. A few days back I helped someone, and he gave me an energy core as payment. I'd like Mr. Briggs to take me to the Union Exchange to trade it for credits. Don't worry, once it's traded, I'll buy the serum here from you. It's the best plan she can come up with. Of course, what's the harm in that? Wonderful. Wait here. I'll send someone to fetch him back. Her son's crew has a perk. Each year he can buy a mid-grade restoration serum for 250 credits cheaper. So few in the camps can afford serum. She bought one last year and still hasn't sold it. Figured it'd rot in her hands. She steps next door, calls over a kid, gives him a credit, and tells him to run and fetch her son. Little Elena, take your time. Mr. Briggs will be back soon. She's afraid the girl won't have the patience and will slip off. It's fine, good timing. I'll look at a few other things. She wants to buy so much. Only the credits won't stretch. She can only get the essentials first. Mama Lacey, how many credits for a scan blade? She has to buy a scan blade. That one, now, runs a bit dear. 45 credits. Is there a cheaper one? Dearer than a plain optic band. If the optic band weren't needed to hold credits, she'd want to sell it off. Mama Lacey thinks a moment, crouches, and rummages below for a while. In no time, she comes up with a small, battered old blade with a hole punched through it. See if this'll do. It's second-hand, a little beat up. If you want it, 45 becomes 10. It's yours. If little Elena hadn't asked, she'd have forgotten it too. Elena tests it. Old, yes, but still sharp. I'll take this one. And get me 5 nutrient vials, too. The 5 credit kind. I've got 2 that expire tomorrow. Only 3 credits each. Want them? Yes, make it 7 then. Such a steal. No spare credits right now. Every bit saved counts. 41 credits total. I'll take 40. Thank you, Mama Lacey. She pays up briskly and settles in to wait for Mr. Briggs. Ma. What's wrong? Did something happen? A middle-aged man comes rushing in from outside. Goodness, you take it slow. Running like that, what for? Watching her son arrive panting, Mama Lacey says it with concern, entirely forgetting she's the one who started this. Ma, it's you. You sent Ironhead to say it was urgent? Didn't even say what. I thought someone was here to smash up the shop. Of course I'd run. His mother loves fleecing people so much, he's afraid she'll get cornered and beaten one day. Mama Lacey can't be bothered with this son who's asking for a smack. She rolls her eyes at him before saying, It's little Elena who needs you. Little Elena, you're here. What is it? Did something happen with your dad? Boone and Briggs are good friends. They serve together in a mercenary crew. Briggs is an honest sort, and he's helped the Originals family more than once. Mr. Briggs, Dad's fine. It's me. I need a favor. Nothing wrong. That's good. Whatever it is, just say it. Leave it to me. He even thumps his own chest. Elena smiles. Someone this lively, out in the wasteland, really is a rare sight. It's like this. I've got an energy core I want to trade at the Union Exchange for credits. I don't dare go alone. I'd like you to make the trip with me. She doesn't hide it, tells it straight. What? You've got an energy core? Where'd you get it? The moment he asks, Briggs regrets it. It's not mine, it's a friend's. He asked me to sell it for him, to buy a mid-grade Restoration Serum. Elena doesn't say it's hers, and besides, she isn't lying. All right, let's hurry then. Wasting no time, he leads her out. Hold on, Mr. Briggs. Take this first. It's not convenient to hand it over outside. Before Briggs can react, 2 cold objects are pressed into his hand. He opens it, 2 energy cores, one of them orange. He clamps his hand shut fast, gives Elena a glance, says nothing more, tucks them inside his shirt, and leads her out. Stepping into the safe zone, the whole atmosphere shifts, like returning to the modern world. There are even high-rises here, and the people are neatly, finely dressed, every one of them bright-faced. Nothing of the dead, hollow look the scavengers wear. They chat with one another, walking cheerfully into the shops. In this moment, Elena has one towering goal. She has to work and buy a place of her own here in the safe zone. Elena is deep in thought when she hears a, "Here we are." Turns out they've reached the Union Exchange. Just follow me, don't be scared. He's afraid little Elena will feel out of place. Yes, don't worry, Mr. Briggs, I'm not scared. Truth is, back when she lived in the safe zone, the Original had been here before. It's just that now, in grimy rags, dark and rough and wrapped up tight, she sticks out. From the moment they walked in, someone's been staring at her. Briggs goes to a window. No one inside. Beside it is posted a credit exchange rate board, and Elena takes the chance to look it over. A white energy core is worth 5 credits, red, 10, orange, 50, yellow, 100, green, 200, indigo, 500. Blue, 1,000. Violet, 2,500. And the gold behind them is just a question mark. Looks like the higher the rank, the higher the credits. The gold must be one no one's ever traded, which is why there's no credit value marked. If she wants to buy a house, energy cores are clearly the main source of credits. He raps on the window. In moments, someone comes. Briggs, what brings you here? Trading credits? Their crew comes here often to sell energy cores, so he's on familiar terms with the staff. True, this is an organization run by those above, but it can't stop these people from skimming a little. Crews like theirs, the staff here still treat with some caution. He holds out the 2 energy cores. Trade it all for credits. My, Briggs, not a bad haul this time. Mostly white and red. Orange is genuinely rare. One moment, let me check. The white core's value is 632. 1 energy point trades for 5 credits, 3,160 total. The orange is 89. 1 point trades for 50 credits. That's 4,450. 7,610 in all. Check it's right, and I'll transfer it over. Hearing over 7,000 credits, the people in the hall all look this way. They've got no few credits of their own, but they're still envious. Never mind those who can't get enough to eat. Their eyes flare green outright. But seeing the man beside her in Hope Company's uniform, Hope being the 3rd-ranked crew in the safe zone, none of them dare provoke. I trust you. Briggs runs the rough math. About this number, give or take. Feeling several appraising stares, he lifts his eyes and sweeps them across the room. Those stares vanish at once. Little Elena, if you trust me, I'll hold the credits with me for now, all right? Briggs says it quietly to Elena. Whatever you decide, Mr. Briggs. She knows he's doing it to protect her. She caught those ill-meaning looks too. Were she alone, they'd have rushed her already, no question. Her credits, plus what she had, total 9,733. 2 mid-grade restoration serums leaves her 267 short. That's right. She means to buy 2. High grade she can't afford. And besides, high grade requires an appointment. For now it's out of reach. Whatever you call it, that man counts as having saved her. These credits are all from beasts he took down. She's no saint, but she has no wish to be someone with no heart, no conscience. For the credits she's short, she figures she'll try selling 2 pieces of jewelry. Right now she can't protect herself. She absolutely cannot risk selling all the jewelry. If someone with intent looked into it, she'd surely be found out. The principle of fortune held invites trouble. She's well aware of. Mr. Briggs, I want to buy 2 restoration serums. Mama Lacey's only got 1. Could you buy 1 more? If she's asking the favor, she'll buy it all from Mama Lacey in one go. I can. As it happens, my allotment this year is still unused. Let's go buy it now. Little Elena's truly too good. Next time he'll have his mother knock the price down for her. They go to the serum window. As expected, no high grade in sight. He produces a Hope Company medallion and hands it over. 1 mid-grade restoration serum. Yes. 4,750 credits total. Sign here. Serum in hand, signature done, he leads Elena off. Someone's following us. We'll swing by the crew first, then head back. The moment they stepped out, he caught a tail. Looks like they haven't given up. Elena says nothing, just follows Briggs to the crew. She doesn't go in. A moment later, Briggs comes out, a young man trailing behind him. This is Lyndon, from my crew. He runs fast. I've had him come along. On the off chance something happens, he can grab little Elena and run. Greetings done. The 3 head out. Sure enough, no one's tailing them anymore. Back at the general store, Mama Lacey steps up. Well, all settled? Yes, all done. Ma, here's 1 more. Didn't you have one already? Why buy another? This one finally sold. An AI, this money-burning son. Mama Lacey, I want this one too. I'm just a little short on credits. I've got 2 pieces of jewelry here that Dad left me. See how many credits they're worth. She makes a show of fishing a silver necklace and a silver bracelet from inside her shirt. There's gold and silver here too, just not commonly seen. Jewelry only those withstanding, those who never want for food or clothing in the safe zone, can afford such luxuries. This is lovely, so finely made. Mama Lacey turns it over in her hand, studying it closely. The pendant is a swan in half-relief openwork. The bracelet, though not openwork, bears two swans just as fine and charming. So lifelike. The necklace, I'll give you 250 credits. The bracelet, 150. How's that? So much craft is lost now, and gold working all the more neglected. Pieces this fine only come down from a century or more ago. Word is that far away there's a great city, where houses collapsed 100 years back, and beneath them you might dig up gold and silver and jewels. But that place is too far from here. Anyone who reaches it does so by the slimmest margin between life and death. Cross high rad zones, slip past mutant beasts, who'd spare a thought for a little jewelry. Which is why fine pieces grow rarer by the day. Elena didn't expect to trade them for this many credits. Looks like the level of technology is even lower than she imagined. 400 credits in all. 2 mid-grade restoration serums come to 10,000 credits. You still owe me 9,600. Not bad, another 500 credits. Profit. Ma. 2 serums, knock off 50 credits. Little Elena brought you the business. Whatever it takes. He wants his mother to take a little less. Listen to you. She's been good enough to little Elena. At least no fleecing. 50 off, she surely doesn't want to. Then, little Elena, just give me 9,550. Fine, 50 off it is, to spare her son the sulk. Yes, thank you, Mama Lacey. 50 credits saved. Of course she's glad. I'll transfer you the rest first. You send it all in one go, Briggs says, and transfers the credits to Elena. Elena then sends the remaining 4,550 to Mama Lacey. She has 183 credits left. All right, I'll head off with Lyndon. We're still in the middle of training. Wait, Mr. Briggs. Take this. It's what I found today. Thank you both. She produces 2 chestnuts. It stings to part with them, but what's owed is owed. Down the road, she may well need their help again. She can't give nothing in return. Little Elena, take these back. I don't help for free. And as for Lyndon, let him keep his. He stuffs them back into her hand. He's already turned a profit. How could he take her goods on top of it? Elena doesn't stand on ceremony any further and takes them back. Then I'll accept. Thank you, Elena. Lyndon says it happily, not expecting an unlooked-for windfall. All right, we're off. Little Elena, head back soon yourself, or it won't be safe. With that, he leads Lyndon away. Mama Lacey, get me an axe. And a small hoe, and a solar lamp too, if you've got one. Once it's dark, you can't see a thing. At night, she still needs a lamp. Sure. Axe, 30 credits. Hoe, 20. Solar lamp's a touch dearer, 45. I've also got an old solar battery. Want it? I'll count it 5 credits. Makes an even 100. Today, she's in good spirits. Little Elena earned her a tidy sum, so she'll let the battery go cheap. Yes. Now this is a real find. Usually a pair of old batteries runs 15 credits. She hurries to transfer the credits over, afraid Mama Lacey will change her mind. Mama Lacey, I'm heading home. She drops everything into the basket, lays Kogan grass over it again, and shoulders it. Take it slow on the road. Keep the valuable things hidden well. This child doesn't ease up for a second, and Mama Lacey has no idea Elena's actually tucked everything into the pocket. I know. It's late now, nearly 8. Out the door, she covers the basket with Kogan grass and quickens her steps toward home. Hidden in the dark, watching passers-by, someone sees Elena's empty basket and silently curses their rotten luck. Dad, are you awake? Quick, look what I bought. She hurries to Boone's bedside and draws out a mid-grade restoration serum. Boone hadn't fallen asleep. Called like that, his eyes open at once. What is he seeing? How is this possible? This is genuinely a restoration serum. He can't be dreaming. Dad, it's real. Drink it. Elena's face is full of a smile, too. Where'd you get it? Did you sell that energy core? Didn't I tell you not to sell it? That core could have been his daughter's dowry. Even without it, No one would dare push her around. Dad, nothing matters more than your health. You get well, and I won't be bullied. She feels not a sliver of distance from Boone, as if he truly were her father all along, so she has no regret at all about buying the serum. All right, I'll drink it. He can't waste his daughter's heart. He wants to recover. He can't pile the whole burden on her shoulders alone. He's afraid that if he can't hold on, he'll leave her with nothing. Bedridden day and night, watching his daughter grow gaunt by the day, he half wished to be gone. Now there's hope, and he wants to fight too. He pours the liquid into his mouth. Ice cold, it slides over his tongue, carrying a thread of bitterness. And then, somehow, calm. The serum runs down his throat into his stomach. A warm current seems to flow slowly through his body, spreading out. He feels himself growing lighter, as if a weight on his back is being lifted, piece by piece. The pain and the exhaustion slowly ebb, replaced by a kind of ease he's never felt. It can't fully cure him, but never again will he have to cough his lungs raw, never again ache so badly he can't sleep. He can even climb out of bed and move, slowly. Watching the color return to Boone's face, Elena settles a great deal. The purchase wasn't wasted after all. You're hungry, aren't you? Let me make you something good. I found over a dozen chestnuts today. I'll crack them open, add a few greens, cook them up. God, I clean forgot. I've still got a mid-rad mutant cat heart and one low-rad chestnut. How did she forget? Had she remembered, she wouldn't have needed to sell the jewelry. Next time she has to check. Lucky the pocket is a small, still, frozen space, or it'd all have spoiled. What? Elena. Did you say mutant cat heart? You found one that can be eaten? Boone cries out, startled, then catches himself and drops his voice. Yeah. I figured nobody eats cat hearts, so I forgot. No idea if Mama Lacey would take it. Hearing his shock, Elena wonders, does Dad think she's too cold-blooded? True. Back in the modern world, she'd probably be doing time for this. No, there's something you don't know. They say once an animal mutates, its body swells. It turns more savage. And the big mutant beasts carry a kind of treasure. Word is, the blood and heart of these beasts hold an unnamed energy. It can heal internal injuries, treat damage from high radiation, even treat gene collapse. His daughter's luck is just too good. A mid-rad mutant beast heart of all things. God, that's far too valuable. Her luck defies heaven. Something this precious, and she found it. No, she can't get too worked up. This is all hearsay too. Whether it's true, what exactly it does, that takes more study. But high-grade Restoration Serum really does contain this ingredient. Boone heard it from the captain of his old mercenary crew. They never once found one themselves. Whatever its true use, it's surely a prize. Elena isn't bothered. As long as it has value, that's enough. The rest she can ask around about later. She heads off, cheered, to make supper. She skips the wild water celery this time and adds pagoda leaves instead. The celery smell is too strong. She takes out the chestnut kernels and mashes them, adds a ladle of water, slices in half a pagoda leaf, and sets it to cook. The chestnut soup comes out fragrant, sweet, soft, and good, with the pagoda leaf's aroma on top, genuinely delicious. One bowl down, and Boone feels deeply content. This chestnut soup beats the old wild greens broth by a mile, and it fills the belly besides. Once it's cleared away, she looks at the man on the bed, torn over whether to give him the Restoration Serum. If not for what Boone just said, she'd have given it to him on the spot. But if a mutant beast heart can cure her father, wouldn't using it on this man be a waste? She weighs it a while. Forget it. Give it to him anyway. What if the beast heart doesn't work as well as they say? Then it'd all be wasted. She's already bought it, and it was his kill. Wake the man first. Leaving him lying there like a corpse isn't a plan either. She pries his mouth open and pours the serum in, careful to the last drop. A waste of this would be a real shame. Slade swallows the ice-cold liquid on instinct. It slides down his throat, bringing a strange sensation, a warmth wrapping around him. His body, sunk as if in mud, finally claws back a little awareness. He opens his eyes, slowly. The first thing in his sight, a woman's faintly red, swollen face. Where is this? He remembers being drugged by someone who set him up, thrown into a high-rad zone. He'd dragged himself out, only to meet a mutant cat. He'd spent every scrap of strength killing it, then blacked out. Everything after he can't recall. You're awake. How do you feel now? Seeing him come round, Elena is glad. This serum really is good. Barely down and he's already conscious. Where is this? You're the one who saved me? He sizes up the room. Crude, plain, not the safe zone. A camp's house by the look of it. He was saved by a scavenger? This is the camp's. I saved you. If I hadn't hauled you home, you'd long since have been eaten clean by the wilds. She did bring him back. Call it a life saved. How do you feel now? If your body's recovered, get going. He's awake, so off he goes. She can't support a grown man this size. What is this woman saying? He's only just come round, the sky's gone pitch dark, and she's driving him out? Where's he supposed to go right now? You sure you saved me? Funny. I remember a woman who nearly got eaten by a mutant cat. I'm the one who saved her, surely. He passed out, but that doesn't mean he forgot what came before. The cat had been chasing a woman. That woman has to be her. What do you mean? You saved me. If I hadn't carried you back, you'd long since have fallen into the beast's jaws. You saved me, I saved you, we're even. And your genes collapsed. I bought a mid-grade restoration serum to save you, or you'd still be lying there. By that math, he's the one who owes her. Slade says nothing. He was set up, he's wounded, his genes collapsed, not a shred of strength left. Going back now means going to his death. He has to find a way to stay, then plan from there. Miss, look, it's pitch blackout, and I've nowhere to go. Could you let me stay here just for tonight? Whatever happens, get through tonight first. Elena, what are you saying? It's dark out now. The man's only just come round. How can you drive him off at a time like this? Boone speaks up. A man newly awake turned out now? Even if he's to go, it should wait for tomorrow. If he doesn't stop his daughter, she really might pick the man up and toss him out the door. Fine, stay. She said it deliberately, to let him know she's no soft-hearted saint either. It's dark now. There's no real chance she'd throw him out. That'd make the rescue pointless. By the way, that mutant cat you killed, I traded the whole thing for credits, bought 2 mid-grade restoration serums, gave you one. Get out of bed and try walking. See how you're recovering. I can't. I feel like there's no strength in me at all. I don't know if the injuries are too severe. It isn't only the gene collapse. Someone injected him with a serum that wrecks the gift. It throws his genes into chaos. The gift won't work either. He still doesn't know who wants him dead. He has to stay. Recovering here, as it happens, is the soundest move. Those people think he's dead. They won't come looking here. You're hurt somewhere else too? Didn't your genes collapse from entering the high-rad zone? Could the serum be useless on him? Then she's badly out of pocket. There are other wounds on me. That serum doesn't work for them. His injuries need energy-bearing medicine to mend, and that's worth a fortune, near impossible to find. Such herbs grow deep in the mountains, rarer still. Oh, then I'm out of options. Buying that one serum nearly cleaned out her purse. Anything more is beyond her. By the way, what's your name? Call me Locke. He can't give his real name? If they knew who he was, these two likely wouldn't dare take him in. His mother's surname was Liu, with one more character added. It isn't quite a lie. I'm Elena. This is my dad. Yes, hello, sir. Slade greets Boone. Hello. I'll call you Locke. You just call me Uncle Boone. Yes, Uncle Boone. He doesn't stand on ceremony. Here, drink this. Elena takes out a nutrient vial. She and Dad have eaten. This one hasn't. Thank you. Just put the credits on my tab. I'll pay you back later. Hearing she'll be repaid in credits, Elena's pleased. The keeping wasn't for nothing. Still, she has to look bashful about it. You need this. It's not many credits. Slade doesn't take that at face value. Have you seen my optic band? He pats himself down. His dagger and optic band are both gone. Ah, I kept them safe for you. Let me get them. She makes a show of going to the big rock, drawing the optic band and dagger from the pocket. Check they're not broken. Don't go saying later that I broke them. She couldn't afford to replace them. He takes the optic band, tries to open it. No response. Not broken. He was using it yesterday. Could someone have locked his account? Then this enemy is certainly someone inside his own house. My optic band won't open for now. I can write you an IOU for the credits. Never in his life has he been this cornered. All right, this man's poorer than she is, Elena thinks, to lie about a broken optic band. Catching the pity in Elena's eyes, Slade's lips part to say something. Then he lets it drop. You're awake now, so get out of bed. Back to sleeping on the floor. She's busy. No time to stand here chatting with him. I sleep on the floor? Does this woman have no empathy at all? If not you, then me? Letting him stay is already a kindness. Sleeping on the bed too. Not a chance. Slade says nothing more, rises sluggishly, and lies down on the ground. That's more like it. Once the hot water's ready, she steps out to pick a few whiteroot leaves. There's no medicine in the house. This is whiteroot. Wipe yourself clean, then dress the wounds with it. Call me when you're done. She hands him the herbs, lifts the basin she's prepared, and turns to go. Slade doesn't stand on ceremony. He works his body up slowly and settles onto the chair. The radiation has left him swollen and red all over, a few spots already rotted. Maybe he was treated with something before, since there's no festering, though the wrecked gift has clearly dulled his body's healing. Looking the way he does now, even he wouldn't recognize himself, so there's no fear of others spotting him either. He dresses the wounds with the herbs, tidies up, and calls Elena in. I'm done. Elena comes in carrying a basin of warm water too. You head out as well. Could you help me outside? He genuinely has no strength. Cleaning the wounds used the last of it. He really can't walk. Such a bother. Her mouth grumbles, but her hands don't slow. Half supporting, half hauling, she drags him to the door, not forgetting to hand him the chair. Thank you. Elena doesn't answer, turning back inside to tend her own wounds. Maybe it's her constitution. They've already scabbed over. 2 more days of the herb, and they should close completely. Wounds tended, she goes out and brings Slade back in, settling him on the floor. Once the room's tidied, she takes out the solar lamp she bought today, sets it in its old spot, and unrolls the bundle of vines she carried home. She doesn't forget Boone sitting on the edge of the bed. Dad, get some rest. I'll weave a couple of grass mats first. Boone opens his eyes and sits up slowly. I'll rest later. I've got a bit of strength right now. Been lying down so many years, sitting up feels good. He isn't tired in the least. All right, rest if you're tired. I'll get to work. She'd meant to build the storage rack first. Now she'll have to wait until Dad's asleep, or it'd be hard to explain. She takes out the kogan grass and studies a handful. It's several times the usual size, suppler than before, the best material for mats. She picks carefully, choosing the paler, softer stalks. Those generally last longer. Sitting on the floor, she weaves with practiced ease, fingers threading nimbly between the strands, locking them together into a firm, comfortable mat. As time passes, the mat takes shape. Elena studies her work, satisfied. Not bad. This skill hasn't rusted. In the modern world, she was a crafts blogger, weaving and making things, often filming how-to videos, often heading up the mountains for vines to weave. A grass mat isn't hard. In no time, 2 are done. Boone watches his daughter finish 2 mats so fast, he can't quite believe it. Since when did she weave this quickly, this well? Slade, too, gives Elena a quiet glance. The faintly swollen hands don't slow her weaving at all. A delicate, charming face that right now shows nothing. An odd, indescribable feeling. Unaware of the shifts in either man's mind, Elena lays the 2 finished mats down. One on Dad's bed, one beneath Slade. The leftover kogan grass is enough for 1 more. Elena, how'd you weave this? Doesn't feel like the usual. Big and thick, but not too stiff. Soft even. Wasn't it scavenging? When the sun got too harsh, I'd sit and fiddle with some vine. Didn't expect to pick it up. Not entirely a lie. The original really did practice with vine in idle moments. Just never this skilled, this fine. Boone has no doubts. His daughters never once lied. Slade has never seen a grass mat like this either. They use bought mattresses. Better than this, but far too dear. Ordinary people can't afford them. Only some of the upper tier and the wealthy use them. Never mind the camps where people haven't even seen one. If a mat like this got known to more people, maybe everyone's lives would be a little better. Only he doesn't know whether she'd be willing to take it out and trade it for credits. Elena finishes the last one and lays it on her own bed. Not bad. At last, no more sleeping on bare boards. The two of them still aren't asleep, so she'll make a bed curtain first. She brought back plenty of water vine. Enough for 2 curtains and 2 mats. The water vine has the longest, suppest stems, the best for curtains and mats. It's late, so she weaves a single curtain first. A girl like her, sharing one space with 2 big men, isn't quite convenient. With a curtain to divide it, anything she does is easier. Once the water vine is stripped, this curtain needs finer, denser work. She doesn't dare let her attention slip. Boone and Slade watch, and eventually drift off without realizing. By the time Elena finishes the curtain, an hour has passed. The clock reads 11 at night. There's a little time left, so she figures she'll weave a carrying basket. The basket the original uses is somewhat tattered, and it's the long, narrow kind, uncomfortable on the back. She wants a new one. She uses a net weave, which is more involved. Bamboo would be best, but conditions are limited, so water vine it is. She lays many strands together and weaves them into a net structure. The upside of this method is a sturdier basket that bears heavier loads. Because the difficulty's higher, it takes another half hour and more. She studies the finished basket, tries it on, fits perfectly. She's thoroughly pleased, worthy of herself. So clever. She looks at the 2 sleeping soundly. Might as well build the storage rack now. This one's fairly simple, not much time at all. If only she didn't need to store all this vine, she wouldn't have had to clear out the pocket. She takes out the new axe, steps out, and chops the 2 logs into 4 wooden posts of matching length, building a wooden rack 3 feet wide, 3 feet deep, 6 feet tall. She binds the frame with vine, then weaves 4 net shelves across the top with vine. Set into the pocket, it fits just right. This way the pocket's filled and it holds far more. With the leftover water vine, she weaves 2 more baskets, one large, one small. The small one holds the jewelry, sanitary pads, a pack of crackers, 2 bags of chips. These she won't need or eat for now, saved for a real emergency to trade for a few credits. The large one holds today's chestnuts and the beast heart. The wild water celery goes under the bed for tomorrow's cooking. The 2 men still haven't woken. Boone, she understands. These past years, the gene collapse's pain robbed him of a single good night's sleep. Now that it's eased, no pain everywhere at every hour. Of course he sleeps deep, but this lock, how does he sleep this soundly? By rights, first night in a stranger's home, he ought to be on guard. How has this man survived in a flesh-eating world? Truth is, Slade doesn't know either. He's normally a deeply wary man. Watching Elena weave, he drifted off without realizing, and slept this deep. It's midnight now. The curtain can hang tomorrow. Hurry to sleep. Early start tomorrow. She sets the optic band alarm for the morning. She'd assumed she'd lie awake like the night before. Instead, a moment in bed, and she sinks into a good dream. The alarm sounds. A new day. Elena's up fast. The toothpaste is out too. She'll buy more next time. A quick wash and a comb through her hair, then she sets the pot to boil for breakfast. Boone and Slade are woken by the alarm too. Boone rises slowly, does a quick wash, and means to help his daughter cook. Slade can't. He's got no strength now, can't get up. Seeing him blocking the way, Elena scoops him up and sets him on the bed. It leaves Slade startled and embarrassed both. This girl's far too strong. Could she be an enhanced body type? A strength type? Elena ignores whatever he's thinking, picks up the grass mat off the floor, and tucks it into the corner. Dad, you don't need to do anything. Recover first. Once you're well, there'll be all the time in the world to make breakfast. By then I won't do it, even if you ask. She stops Boone from helping and eases him onto a chair. All right, don't worry. I'll move around more today, and tomorrow I'll get up and make your breakfast. Boone has to sit down, smiling. Seeing the celery broth come out thin, Boone fishes out a half-finished nutrient vial and hands it to Elena. Elena, this is half a vial. I didn't finish 2 nights back, pour it in too. That way it'll fill you more. You can't go scavenging on an empty stomach. Looking at the half vial in Dad's hand, Elena's heart aches. How could she not know? Dad saved it out of love for her. All right. She takes it and pours it into the pot. She swears she'll give Dad a good life. Never again will he have to worry over food. She ladles a bowl of celery broth for each of the three and helps Slade to the table. Over the meal, she tells Slade to leave. Locke, looks like you can get out of bed now. Head back today. Or wait and I'll walk you out when I'm home. A stranger in the house, always, isn't right. There isn't much food now either. She can't support him. Besides, in 2 months, it's the cold season, winter in modern terms. She has to stockpile food hard, or she won't survive it. There's no spring here. The cold season runs especially long. She has to lay in food, prepare warm clothes and bedding, save credits for a solar heater. Time's tight. She has no time to look after him, no time to guard against his enemies. She's no fool. By his dress, this man's no ordinary sort. She can't make out his looks, but that bearing isn't common. To end up like this, he was certainly someone's target. She's watched plenty of TV, especially those modern shorts where the lead gets set up early, then turns unstoppable later. The protagonist's fine, but small side characters like her are exactly the ones who become sacrifices. Better to send him off sooner. I've no family, and my body hasn't recovered. I hope you'll let me stay. Don't worry. Every cost goes on the tab in credits, and I'll repay you double. He can't go home now. Doesn't yet know who's behind it. He needs to stay here. The place is crowded and chaotic. He can lie low here a good long while. Can you produce credits right now? Easy to say. Repay in credits. Who knows when he'll actually hand them over? My optic band's broken for now. Once I buy a new one, I can transfer you the credits. He'll definitely repay her. What? You mean I'd have to spend credits to buy you an optic band first? Not a single credit handed over and already making her spend. Absolutely not. I don't want your credits. Off you go. Even with credits, you need a life to spend them. We could talk terms again. Do you want to leave the camps, live in the safe zone? You probably don't know. To live there, you need residency rights. Without them, you can't rent or buy a place, but I can help you get residency. Think it over. He believes anyone living here wants into the safe zone, without exception. He doesn't take Elena for someone with no ambition. As long as she wants to move in, she'll agree to this. Elena's eyes go wide. Buying a house in the safe zone needs residency rights too? That's quite the racket. What kind of person gets residency? Those who've contributed to humanity, the safe zone leadership, and members of the mercenary crews and their families. This is no longer the civilized age of a century past. This is an age of big fish swallowing small. I'll consider it. Stay for now. But the credits go on a written IOU. She doesn't want to refuse outright, but she can't let herself eat the loss either. Dad, here are 2 nutrient vials. You 2 drink them at midday. Drink them dry. There are 2 bamboo tubes of water here too. Drink those. There's a log over there. Once I'm out, bar the door. The food's tucked into the pocket for now, but the 2 of them are still patients. Safety comes first. I've got it. Oh, we seem to be out of salt. If you come across it, bring a little home. Yes, I know. Packed up, she shoulders the basket and heads out. Nature really is a marvel. When people despair, it hands them a thread of hope. When salt grew harder and harder to gather, people found a tree. Its fruit forms a layer of salt on the rind. Scrape it off gently, and in 5 days a new layer forms. So the salt problem was solved. People call it the salt tree. Head 3 miles east and there's a whole grove of them. Not long out the door, she's stopped. Tamneem, perfect timing. Let's go scavenging together. I know a spot where we can find food. It's Hart, the one from yesterday. Looks like not settling this cleanly with him will only mean more trouble later. Go on ahead. We're not headed the same way. I'm going to the salt grove for salt today. She has no wish to share a road with him. Then I'll come too. As it happens, we're out of salt at home. He's waited here a good while. How could he give up easily? Hart, I'll be straight with you. There's no chance for us. Don't you know your parents came to find me? You know what the two of them meant? Spell it out for him today, and spare them both the future tangle. My parents went to you? I truly didn't know. Tam Niem, whatever my parents said, that's not what I mean. I'm sincere. He genuinely didn't know they'd gone to her. Then let me ask you, if the two of us were together, I'd want to keep my father with me, and I'd want to save credits for a high-grade Restoration Serum for him. Would you still be willing? She's certain no one would willingly take on a burden like that. Tam Niem, you know how it is. My family's circumstances aren't great either. You don't need to explain. I understand your difficulty. But I've got my own considerations, so we don't suit. Elena cuts him off. Hart stands there blank. He didn't think Elena would refuse him so flatly. Tam Niem, I'm sincere. The other things we can work out. I'll persuade my parents. Let's work together to buy Uncle Boone a high-grade serum, all right? He genuinely likes her. He doesn't want to give up. Hart, I'll say it one last time. I don't like you, and there's no chance of being with you. She turns and goes. He watches her walk away, his chest full of loss and a refusal to accept it. Elena pays no mind to how Hart feels. She keeps on, and soon nears the salt grove. A few people are already gathering salt here. Looks like no one living here is lazy. She finds an unoccupied salt tree, climbs it carefully, grips a salt fruit, scrapes off a layer with the small knife, and slowly tips it into a pouch. Once the pouch is full, she tucks it inside her shirt, then slips it into the pocket. Always stay careful. Who knows if eyes are watching from the shadows? She'd meant to head to yesterday's celery spot, but it's too far from here. That'll have to wait for tomorrow. She keeps on. The grove is genuinely huge. Half an hour before she's out the other side. Seeing more and more people, she picks a quieter path. She's got the scan blade anyway, scanning as she walks. The chime keeps reporting, not edible. Food really isn't this easy to find. Beep beep, mid-radiation food. Consume in moderation. Oh, something edible. She looks the leaf over. Palm-sized. The plant stands upright. Surface glossy. About 2 meters tall, the stem red. The leaves are triangular or egg-shaped. Deep green, glossy on top, pale green beneath. Its fruit is 3-sided. The husk hard and black. She picks one and peels it. The seed inside is round and flat, black, glossy on the surface. This is buckwheat. Buckwheat of all things. Wonderful. Flour to eat. This is a staple crop. She cuts it down over 30 seeds on a single plant. She shells one and scans it with the blade. Beep beep. High radiation food. Not recommended. Beep beep. High radiation food. Not recommended. Beep beep. Mid-radiation food. Consume in moderation. 6 edible ones, as it turns out. She stands and studies the brush ahead. One plant here means there are surely more beyond. She parts the brush ahead carefully and pushes through. The grass is too tall, scraping her face raw. She crouches and moves slowly. Each plant she finds, she scans without rushing, picks it, drops it in the basket. At last, she's out of the brush, and ahead lies a great spread of buckwheat. God, this much here. Such a joy. She rolls up her sleeves and gets to work. Beep, beep, mid-radiation food. Consume in moderation. Beep, beep. High radiation food. Not recommended. She loses track of time until thirst and exhaustion hit, and she realizes it's nearly 10. She looks at the half basket of buckwheat seed, then at the scant pile. Not even a third done, and suddenly it's not so sweet. When will this ever be finished? Right? How is she being this dense? Aren't there 2 free laborers at home? She can haul the whole lot back and have them help. A sip of water. Back to work. If it won't finish, she'll work herself to the bone. Suddenly the ground shudders, as if some huge creature is approaching. Elena snaps alert. In moments, something appears ahead. A locust. Is this a locust? Is there a locust this big? A mutant locust comes leaping from ahead. Its frame dwarfs an ordinary one. Its whole body sheathed in hard chitin that gives off a cold gleam. Its eyes flicker with savagery, fixed on Elena as if to swallow her whole. She draws the axe, grips it tight, and faces the mutant locust with a calm face. Looking at that blank expression, anyone would think she's composed and unafraid right now. But the hands gripping the axe give her away. They won't stop trembling. She's terrified. She's never seen a locust this big. Born in an age of peace, she's never met a sight this frightening. Can she even still run? The mutant locust gives her no chance to wonder. Food's right in front of it. What's it waiting for? It springs hard and lunges. Before Elena can react, her body moves faster than her mind, dodging fast, slipping the locust's attack. She seizes the opening, swings the axe, and chops at its head. But the mutant locust reacts with blinding speed, ducking, slipping her blow. This human dares to swing at it. Enraged, it springs hard and counters fiercely, driving its powerful forelegs straight at her. Elena rolls nimbly aside, swinging the axe at the locust's leg at the same time. But its shell is brutally hard, and her blow does no great harm. Before it can react, a hand grips its leg and hurls it forward with full force. A crash. The tree opposite snaps. The locust springs up fast and drops to the ground, only lightly hurt. Elena realizes strength alone can't beat it. She has to use her wits and her tricks. So she begins watching how the mutant locust moves and where it's weak. After a while, she notices the locust's belly seems to be its weak point. And from her childhood experience catching locusts, the leg joints are extremely fragile too. She decides on an ambush. Waiting for the locust to attack again, she seizes the moment, lunges at its belly, drives the dagger in, then chops at the joint with the axe. It works! After several exchanges, the mutant locust gives a wretched, mournful screech, its body convulsing hard a few times before it falls. Elena pants, looking at the locust down on the ground, a victor's joy rising in her. This fight was hard, but in the end she won, on her own courage and wits. She's long since collapsed flat on the ground too. Her stamina really is too poor. If not for the original's great strength, she couldn't have been sure of killing this thing. Body conditioning has to go on the schedule soon. In the modern world, locusts are edible too. Rich in protein, the meat mostly in the thorax and thighs. The hind legs especially, where the muscles developed and packed with protein. If this mutant locust can be eaten, then they can have meat, and she can build Dad up. The sun climbs higher. She picks up the leg that came off, drags the locust into a shady spot, and sets it down. She quickly cuts a big bundle of buckwheat to cover it, takes out the water pouch, and swallows a big mouthful. Relaxing, she feels the fear of it again. She'll have to be far more careful from now on. Hands washed clean, she bows reverently to the 4 directions and all 8 points, paying respects to whatever deity there is. Just bless her with meat to eat. First, she scans the thorax meat. Beep beep, mid-radiation food, consume in moderation. God, genuinely useful. It really can be eaten. Then the hind legs. Beep beep, low radiation food, recommended. Did she hear wrong? Low rad of all things. This is meat that holds a trace of energy. Ha! Today's a lucky day. 4 legs, 2 not edible, 1 low rad, 1 mid rad. She sets the low rad meat aside. The legs and shell of this mutant locust can be traded for credits too. She takes it all. Belly meat cut. She looks at the not very large abdomen and reaches in to feel around. She touches something hard. There really is something inside. She pulls it out. A small white energy core. A look really does pay off. She sets it on the optic band to read the value. 453. Not bad. An unexpected haul. Dig a hole, bury it. The motion smooth and fluent. Practice makes perfect. Looking at today's haul, her mood's good. That blazing sun, the towering old tree, the man-high weeds, all of it feels dear now. She doesn't dawdle over the big bundle of buckwheat, starting to scan again. Soon, it's noon. She takes out a nutrient vial and drinks it, and at once a full feeling spreads through her. Being able to eat your fill really is good. Looking at the buckwheat, over half scanned, she picks one up and works through it slowly, her mind turning all the while. How is she to turn this buckwheat into flour? The people of this world don't seem to know it, or how to eat it. When the collapse came, those who died most were the lowest of the low. Many books were destroyed too, so that few people know wild greens or the coarser grains. After 100 years of upheaval, fewer still. As long as the scanner says edible, they take it home and boil it in water, and many foods, not knowing how to prepare them, get deemed inedible and tossed. If you boil buckwheat directly, the husk's fairly thick and carries a bitter compound, so a short cook leaves it hard and faintly astringent, which is why many scavengers don't bother seeking it out. She has to find a way to make it into flour. A machine's out of the question. She can't afford one, but she can make a... As a child, she often saw Grandma using one to grind corn flour, even helped wash it down. She knows the principle. She can build it. The hard part now is drying it. Direct sun drying won't do. It might turn straight into high-rad food. Roasting over fire won't either. Cook it through and it's ruined, and she hasn't enough buckwheat to waste, right? She can build a fire bed, dry it right on the bed. That works. Looks like she has to build a fire bed tomorrow. She looks at the scanned buckwheat. An hour yet before the sun eases. So she pulls a little cotton grass and quickly weaves herself a straw hat, wraps up tight, takes out the umbrella, hurries to the buckwheat field, cuts a bundle, and rushes back to her spot. She opens the pouch, gulps water, and her spirits come back, looking at skin barely sun-scorched. Not bad. The method works. Once the scanning's done, the sun's no longer harsh. She strips all the remaining buckwheat seed into a sack. 3 sacks full, with a little buckwheat left over, which she cuts in bundles. All of it into the pocket. Seeing one empty slot still, she pours the scanned seed onto the rack. Watching the pocket packed full, she settles. With food in hand, the heart doesn't panic. She shoulders the basket and walks slowly back along the old path, taking a stonier road home. She needs to find 2 hard stones now, 2 of the right size, flat in shape, for the main parts of the hand mill. To her surprise, she finds 3 suitable stones. Unsure which 2 to pick, she just takes them all, one as a spare.